Alright, welcome back. We're going to continue to work on our textured vase project. We have our piece that we textured from the other day. It's really the same day for me. It was really just a couple minutes ago. Maybe you didn't have to clean up then and you haven't even wrapped yours up. That's okay too. If you're ready to move on, let's do it. So, on our last episode, we had some extra clay and we took care to make sure that was nice and moist, but if yours got too dry, maybe you had to roll your slab out a couple times because the first time you tried to print it, it didn't print right because you hadn't practiced yet. That's okay. I've done this a lot. That's why I knew how to do it. But if you need to practice and your clay got drier, then just recycle it before you move on to this next step. But mine's pretty squishy. I'm going to go on. However, to make the second one of these, notice we need two sides. There's one, there's the other one. I'm going to need more clay because if I try to roll it out that big, it's going to be so skinny, and that's not what I want. I'm just going to leave this slab setting nice right where it's at, and I'm going to set this off to the side so it won't get smooshed while I'm trying to do things with the rolling pin. Rolling pins like to smash texture if you let them. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And then got my clay. This part is kind of a review. So I'm not going to take forever to do it, but I'm just going to do it more quickly. I told you I need more clay. There's some more clay. So I got 2 chunks of clay. It's always best to kind of mush these together in case there's slightly different wetnesses. Otherwise, when you try to print your texture, it's not going to print evenly. Some parts it will want to stick and other parts it will not print because it's too dry there or something. So mix the clays together well and try not to get a bunch of air in the clay when you mix it. Alright, I know that's easier said than done. You'll see what you can do if you do get some air in your clay. So I've got my piece of clay here. I'm going to save myself some rolling pin effort by just smushing it in generally to the right shape. I'll flip it over. Alright, so here is my piece that I need the right size of. It's not big enough yet. So we're going to roll it out. If it starts sticking, flip it over or move it to a different spot on your canvas. I'm going to turn mine and roll it more the other way. Now, I told you what happened, like that it can get air caught in your clay. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I have a couple of air bubbles right there. You can just kind of flip it around. You see this little bulge? Looks kind of like a blister, but there's no like blister juice inside. It's just air. So you pop it with the needle tool and kind of flatten it out. Here's another one that's very small. I don't know if I'd need to pop that. It's kind of got 3 sections. I think that's all of them I can see right now. You'll be able to see them. They look like a blister, like if you were on the monkey bars too much, or you were doing too much yard work and you got a shovel hand. That's never fun. Anyway, if you got air bubbles, that's how you get rid of them. And I'm trying to make sure again that it's nice and even all around, not thicker and thinner in some spots. And you want this one to be pretty much the same thickness as your other slab. But remember, you've already pressed the texture into that. When you press the texture in, it does flatten it just a little bit. So I'd make this one slightly thicker than your first one so that once you push your texture down, you're still good. Not quite there yet. I'll flip you over. There we are. Ooh, look at that air bubble. Can you see it? Snarky little air bubble sneaking out on me like that. There. Alright, I think we're good now. Remember that when your rectangle is in a landscape orientation, that is actually the up and down. Okay, this is top, this is bottom, or vice versa. This is side and side. And when it comes to your texture, I usually put the same texture on both sides. I just think it looks good that way. Some people choose to put a different texture on the different side. It's yours. You do what you want. You're the artist. But since it's mine on this one, I'm going to use the same texture I used before. Don't cut this out. Don't try to print this with the paper on it still. It won't work. Move the paper. Set your texture so the texture side is facing the clay. Remember when you roll it that you rock back and forth and start on one side. You sort of push that bulge across the clay. And once you've gone across, you don't go back, because then you'll get double vision. Double vision. Do, do, do. Double vision. All right. So remember to take it off. You do the little peely from one corner. Yay, texture. Woohoo. No, I'm not joking. It's cool. It really is, especially the first time you do it. You're like, wow, that's neat. I have actually a little bit of double vision right there. I'm trying to decide how bad it is if I'm going to restart. I think I'm going to deal with it and just ignore it for now. If yours is a lot double vision, you should smush it up and roll it out again. Cut your pieces off here. Oops, I didn't cut it off very straight. It matters if you cut them off right, because it might not fit very good if it's wonky. So I've got my scraps. There's my beautiful texture piece. I'm going to lift him up and slide him out of the way a second, being careful not to stretch him out of shape as best I can. I'm going to bring this back. Okay, and then we'll set this one on here right next to his friend. There you guys are. Aw, that's so sweet. Okie dokie. So now we have one side and the other side. We also need a circle for the bottom. Once again, set this out of the way where you're not going to smash it by accident with your rolling pin. And I have made these handy dandy circle templates for the right size. Obviously it's too big right now, but this is the size you use. It shrinks to fit. All of it shrinks. It doesn't shrink to fit. It's the right size for wet clay. You know what I'm talking about. At any rate, I got plenty of scraps. They're not too dry at this moment, otherwise I would recycle. If yours are too dry, go ahead and recycle. If you need more because you don't have enough scraps, come see me. I'll get you some more clay. It's impossible to make it if you don't have enough clay. Again, I'm going to help out the rolling pin by kind of getting it started a little. I can already see an air bubble right there. It's trying to pop on its own. All right. Now, this is already basically big enough, but I'm not just going to cut that out because it's way too thick still. So I'm going to roll it so it's pretty much the same thickness as the sides of my pot were, the ones that are over there. I forgot what I was going to say. So the thinner you made those, you should make this about equal. If yours are thicker, then you should make this thicker. It makes putting together easier. Here's another air bubble. Pop that. If you're going to have them slightly off, I'd have your circle a little thicker than the sides instead of a little thinner. But in general, they should be pretty close. I have lots of air bubbles in here. That happens when you smush up your clay again. When it's the brand new, there's no such thing as brand new clay. Clay is a bazillion years old because it comes out of the ground. And it's been put, you know, all that sediment from years and years of rivers flowing and whatnot. Clay is old. There's no such thing as new clay. But there's newly processed clay. When it's newly processed, you won't get air bubbles. But you do sometimes when you smush it up again. So, here's my circle. That's pretty nice. Cut this out. All right. I'm not going to spend forever smoothing this because I'll show you why later. You know, if this were just going to be something on its own, then I would smooth these edges really well, but we're not going to right now. By the way, when you're done using these, put them back on the pile. Other people can use them again. It might be time for you to clean up, in which case you've got this all over your board. And so, what are you going to do about this? The answer is get another board. But you don't have to wrap them separately. You can take, oh, I still have my other paper towels. Use your paper towels again until they start getting too worn out. Once they're too worn out and fraying and shredding, then get rid of them. But may as well save some trees. So I'm going to put those on. Spritz lightly. They're already pretty damp, so I'm not going to spritz them a lot. Now, those paper towels are going to keep this from sticking to the clay. If I just put that on there, it, you know, then that clay down here would stick to this board. So that's its job. Now I put this board, and now I want to put this. Except for if I set that on there, then this one's going to stick to that. It's like a giant double-decker hero sandwich, Big Mac, whatever. So I've got another layer of paper towels. Yay! Give that a nice spritzing. Spritz, spritz, spritz. Remember, you don't want it drippy, just nicely moist. Go ahead and set this on here. Now I have my extra pieces. Don't give these back to the teacher yet. You're going to need them again. Make sure that they're in decent shape. If you have a little extra time and they're kind of dry, recycle it now before you go. Otherwise, if you don't have time, but they need recycling, just wrap them up real good and then recycle them before you start the next part. I need a couple more paper towels. I'll be right back. Thank you for waiting. So I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to put this one here. More spritzing. That was nice that you didn't spritz the other students in the class. I can tell you're very responsible. Good job. All right. This whole thing can get put away into the bags like you did before. Do you want me to demonstrate again? I better. Sometimes people think if I don't show them this time, then it doesn't matter. It matters every time. Slide it in there like a pizza going into an oven. Yeah, that's nice. There you go. Twist that. This is the open end. That's the closed end. Now we have our other grocery sack. Look, that one still has my name on it. It's convenient. I'm putting it on the outside, and I don't have to put another name tag on it. Yay! Pressing out the air. Bringing these together, doing a little twisting. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Alright, so that's ready to go in the parking spot. That ends with this. If you needed to stop in between or whatever, that's fine, because who knows when your class ends, but this is just kind of the next step. Good job.